Imagination Station Network. Today we're joined by Stephen with a V, remember that, and podcast number 34. Thanks for coming. 34,
Thanks for inviting me.
I remember when I was 34.
Yeah, me too.
Long time ago. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Before we start, how are you doing today?
Good. I'm good. I'm looking forward to this.
Good, man.
Yeah. I'm doing alright. Had a
we
good night's
always
sleep.
start with that, man, because people forget. Did you say you had a good night's sleep?
I did.
Jealous, man. Aye.
Yeah.
I love sleeping, but when I'm the day before a podcast, I'm excited. It's like that feeling where it's like I can't explain it. Meeting new people, as we were talking off the camera, and coming to see people, so I get excited. I'm up at four bells sending Jan emails.
Jeez. No. So I will say I'm normally like that, but I had a good night's sleep last night. But I had the drive down where my mind was talking to myself about what we were going to be talking about.
The two stories. The one you're thinking about, the one you're going to actually take.
Yeah.
That's normal, man. That's what everybody thinks about. But thanks for giving us your time, man. It's That's nice. Right. So Stephen came and fitted our brand new printer, and as soon as I said hello to him and started talking to him, it was apparent, he had a nice, kind generalisation of the way he spoke to me. And you don't get that for everybody. So when I see people like that, I came back down, I was like to Johanna, no, we need to get him on the podcast. I just think you get a nice demeanour about yourself. As we discussed off the camera, there's loads of horrible things in the world. I mean, somebody, a fellow traveller over the journey, it's right that we get you on. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Appreciate it.
So let's just get into it.
Indeed.
What's your creative journey?
Oh, what's my creative journey? That's well, when you asked me about this originally, I was like, I'm not creative.
I know,
and you're
right?
like, you are.
That's it. Everyone is.
Am I? I mean, I suppose what you were talking about with the printer stuff. So, I've been dealing with printers for 24 years. I think I started doing it. And I started off as a trainee, a small company in Edinburgh. It was just the guy who owned it, his wife, and me. And I worked with them for 5 years. And it was great. And then I met my partner at the time, who lived in Essex. So I moved down there for a couple of years. Worked for a bit of a bigger company. But then that original company wanted me to come back, so we moved back up to Edinburgh, and I've just been kind of doing stuff with them, doing that for I think there was 3 years, and then unfortunately got made redundant just after like the kind of financial crash and stuff like that. So it wasn't expected, but it wasn't nice, but these things happen. And then I was like, well, it was at Christmas as well, so like my last day was Christmas Eve, and then I was like.
That long,
that
was a long Christmas.
Oh well, I decided I looked for jobs in the run up to it, but I decided to go self-employed, and so what I did was, it wasn't necessarily about having my own customer base. I had lots of customers they didn't have an engineer in Scotland,
right?
So they used me, and I'd go out and represent their customers, and it got me into some nice training paths with manufacturers. Which then has led me to be with the company I'm with now.
Right. Who's that?
So you'll know Plot It.
Yes. I got Plot It.
Plot It. So that they're our online brand. They're part of a bigger group of companies as well.
But the good thing is as well, jumping in there, like because of the way you conducted yourself, we are looking for another printer. So it's like that's how things happen and transpire. It's like and I asked a few questions because I'm a curious human being with stuff, especially stuff that I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And we're looking at another printer.
Yeah.
We maybe not been looking at another one. Had we not spoke to you?
Yeah.
Like and came in. Aye. And I watched you carry that big printer upstairs. Aye.
that's a small one for us.
Aye, you did say that. I was like, wow, it's taking up the other half of my office, man. So
yeah. So that, I mean, it's a really nice printer, that one. But yeah, it's it's a 24-inch one, but we do ones up to. Well, the latex stuff goes up to 60-inch wide.
Wow, man. That's
but the ones I mostly deal with are 40-inch wide, page wides, which are big.
Humping them up some of these
stairs. They're half a ton.
I know when we opened the door and you're like, oh, it's upstairs. I said, aye, but I got a plan. I said, it's in the door and in there. Because I imagine if it was... And we were going to go for a bigger thing, and I'm glad we didn't.
We would have got it up.
Aye.
Yeah.
Just thank you for moving back out.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We Jamesy boys are like lifting stuff.
Well, you can always get us come back in and do that for you.
This is true,
so.
This is true.
Yeah.
But printing, it's not something that Where I come from a place in Ayrshire where there used to be a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I always imagined that I would go into a job like that because you had IBM, you had Fullerton Fabrication, you had all the big numbers there, and
I did, yeah.
and there's I can't mind the name of the printing place that's in Stevenson, and I did look at it ages ago and go, oh, you know what, I quite like that. But then the technical side of it, and that sounds daft, thinking what I do for a job, like then we editing and stuff.
Yeah.
But the technical side of what you do is, aye, that blew my brains just looking at it. It's not something that
so when I first got the job, I was 21, and the technical I worked with the printers in installing them, but I'd never actually taken one apart.
Right.
And I remember being petrified of doing that.
Aye.
But I had a little bit of experience with like building PCs and stuff when I first left school, and once I got into it, it was following the logic of how it works.
And I'm that guy, where's this screw? It's all back together. I was like, where's that screw?
Oh yeah, I've done that a few times. I'm like, how have I got this many screws left? But then it is that logical thing, like particularly for fault finding, because it's not just the installation, I do the maintenance of them as well. So if the printer breaks down, you call us up and it'll be me who'll come back out and
cool.
do the repairs. And it is a logical step most of the time. Some of the times you're like, what on earth is this printer doing? But you've got to start thinking of, right, well, if it's not this, it's that, and you do have to start thinking on your feet.
Yeah.
Because although you get service manuals, they don't necessarily work in the real world.
Somebody like me opening that up, man, I'm straight to the German part and think, you don't read German, James, what you doing? That just shows you how far I'm into it. Like, right, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So what did you do before all that? That's the key number one question. What's your creative journey before you did what you did?
I mean, I don't really know, actually.
There was something you mentioned earlier that I liked, the JCI.
Well, yeah, so when I was self-employed, I started looking for business networking to try and generate new customers and things like that. And I found this thing called Junior Chamber International, JCI, and I was like, I recognised the logo, and I'd seen a friend post some stuff on social media about it. And this was back, 2014, I think it was. So I was 34, episode 34. Hey,
that's stuff like this happens.
Yeah.
On this show. Something's going to happen.
Yeah. So I went along. So Junior Chamber International is for people in their 20s and 30s.
Right.
And it's about personal development. So they do things like, they do networking, they do public speaking training, general sort of lots of different training stuff, but they also do things like community projects.
Right.
So it's not like you're just not just training yourself, you're actually trying to give back a little bit into the community. And I found at that point, I was 34, a lot of my friends had moved away from the city. They'd moved to London, Manchester, Sydney, Melbourne, wherever. They'd gone over the place.
Goddamn yous.
I know. I'm still friends with them all. We actually I was at a wedding recently in Italy, and everybody came back.
Oh, brilliant, man.
So it was really nice to see everybody. But yeah, so I found that it was actually really good for my social network. I've met some lifelong friends through that. We talked beforehand about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
One of my friends in that is somebody I met through JCI, and actually two of them are actually, so Katie and Henry, we do all that sort of stuff together. But it was a really good way of getting sort of learning about yourself. And one of the things they do is they've got this thing called a year to lead.
Right.
So if you go into the local board, you can be the role, like say, like the secretary or the treasurer or the president, but you're only in that role for 1 year.
Right.
And it's about learning that role. You might not think that being treasurer would be something you do, but you kind of want to have those skills maybe for taking them into your current career, and you don't necessarily know where to start. But if you start doing it and you find, actually I quite like a lot of this, that's great. You can then use those skills and go off and do things within your personal development. If you also find that you're not enjoying it, you're only doing it for 1 year, and then you can try something next year.
Pressure.
So it's a really, really good way of learning things and being creative in certain ways as well. So there's a lot of events that have to happen. So my first role within it was one I'm very good at. It's a social director. So organising everyone to go out for drinks.
Oh my god,
I'm terrible at that.
Oh, you've lost me with that one. I'm like, I'll get you there. He's want to come.
But it was like even like weekends away, or We went and brewed our own beer. We had a trip down the canal boat
brilliant
experience. Although the canal didn't leave the quay because the quay broke in it. So so but we had a great time anyway. And it's things like that. That was a good way of doing it. I've done public speaking with that. I've done debating. I was president of Edinburgh in 2018, which was a full-on year.
Wow.
You've got it's a lot of pressure, but it's a lot of reward. And then in 2020, I was JCI Scotland national president. So that was an interesting year. When you're national president, you are representing your members on an international stage.
Right.
So there are 3 big meetings that you have to go to. One's a European Presidents meeting, then there's a European Conference, and then there's a World Conference. And they can be held all over the place. So in that year, the European Presidents meeting was held in Moldova, which I'd never ever expected to go to Moldova. Absolutely lovely, really, the reception for everyone was amazing. That, and then lockdown happened. So
the dreaded lockdown.
Yeah. So everything I planned that year, you had to then
just tear up.
To tear up and go, right, let's do something else.
What was happening.
I was supposed to. The European Conference was thankfully it was nice and local. It was in Dublin, so that wasn't too bad. But World that year, which I'm kind of gutted that I've missed out on, was in Japan.
Oh, Ian would love that. He goes to Japan once a year. I like how you say Dublin's local.
Well, for international events, for JCI, that is local.
59 minutes on the plane.
Yeah, up and down when you're there.
I'm going to start saying to the team, listen man, Dublin's local. We're doing an Irish tour next year. And I'm like, we're going local. Where we going?
Yeah,
we're exactly. Dublin, Belfast, West.
But yeah, so I was fortunate I did get to go to Japan the year before. So when you're becoming a national president, there's a thing called Japan Academy. And basically, you get out there, and we had a few days beforehand to kind of get. I'm really bad with jet lag.
Right.
Really does a number on me. So it got me into it. But then how to explain Japan Academy? It's a cultural experience.
I bet it is.
So I got to go, and I went to a primary school, and it was maybe sort of kids around about ages 11. So what's a primary 7 here? Primary 6, primary 7, and we went into them. We got to introduce ourselves. They introduced to ourselves. They weren't necessarily great with English,
right?
Speaking, but it all worked. And then I got to learn what actually goes on. They're like for lunchtime, for example. For us at lunchtime, we had our lunch, and then went and kicked about and
played with the Pokemon cards or
Tazos
and Maddie.
For me, it was more like British Bulldogs and
British Bulldogs
tag and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, they have, so the first 20 minutes, a group of them go down to the kitchens. They get the lunch and all the utensils, bring that up, and they serve it out to the rest of their classmates.
Right.
And then they clear it all up. They have 20 minutes free time, and then they have 20 minutes to go around and they clean the corridors. And I got dragged along, and I was brushing the stairs, and I got told off by this little 11-year-old I wasn't doing it right.
Aye.
Because he's the one that gets in trouble if he's not done right. And it's just that way of learning that no job is beneath you.
Yeah.
You learn that from a young age there, that no job is beneath you.
That's brilliant, man. It just shows you we're missing out a bit, man. Yeah. Missing a trick here. We think we're hard done to as a nation.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, we were talking about it in the car on the way in, man. We really do.
Yeah.
Like, I've gone off on a wee tangent here, man, but we're living in a privileged state.
Mm-hmm.
Mobile phones do everything that we always wanted them to do, and it's not enough.
No.
They want more.
Mm-hmm.
They want everything. Whereas these kids over there with the cultural difference, they're like, just shows you, man. You're like living in a privileged world.
Yeah. It was a bit of an eye opener to see what they do.
Did you see any blossom trees when you were there?
No, it wasn't in the season for that.
Oh, I'm infatuated with blossom. That's what brought us to here.
Oh, really?
There's a blossom tree just as you drive in, and January the 2nd, I monitor it, January the 2nd until January the 29th, because they only get 28 days at them.
Right.
And then they're here, they show off. They show up and show off for 28 days.
Right.
And I remember I said, "Come on, Jan, we'll go and show you this." And went round the wee blossom trees. Just fascinating, man.
Nice.
Fascinating plants. So tell us a wee bit, mate. I'm quite interested in Dungeons and Dragons. I've got loads of friends that do it, but I've never let myself, because I get obsessive, man, and I see the wee paintbrushes that they use, and that stresses me out, man.
Oh, I can't do that.
I'm like that. No, thank you, but I'll stand and watch, man. But aye.
So it kind of came out of. So where I live in Edinburgh, I have a group of friends that all live nearby. I'm with the pub right across the road. It's a really nice pub, and they had a quiz night on a Tuesday night. So we went doing the quiz every week, and then the quiz stopped for various reasons. And but we were kind of like, well, we still do this. We still want to meet up every week.
Yeah.
And one of my friends, he'd been sort of starting doing it with another group of friends, and it got suggested that that's what we do. And I was also at the time like, I know nothing about it. Being raised Jehovah's Witness, Dungeons and Dragons was not something I was allowed to play as a kid, because there was the magic element, and there's a whole reason for it. But yeah, and demons and all these sorts of things. So definitely not a thing for me to play as a kid. So I was kind of like, well, I don't really know anything about it. I don't know how to do it. And so we agreed that this is what we're going to do. And my friend Mike, he's a dungeon master, and he was like, right, so you need to come up with a backstory with your character. And I'm like, what do you mean a backstory? He's like, well, where did they come from? What to do? And I'm like, but give me guidelines. I need to have guidelines for it. Like, and I really kind of freaked out over having to create that. But I did it. We sat down, we worked it out, and I had this really cool backstory for my character, which. Yeah, you don't. It's relevant, but it's not relevant, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so it's just knowing where your character comes from, and then I didn't understand, didn't know how it was played or anything like that. So we had a session around at him and his wife's house one afternoon, and I was just like, oh, okay, so it's a bit like a lot like video games. A lot of video games are based on that sort of premise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I played quite a few video games, and one of my favourite games I ever played that kind of got me into video games, like the new sort of stuff, was a game called Fable 2. It's on the Xbox, and it's kind of, you basically go out and you get a task to go off and do, and you go off and fight things, and then you have to come back, and then you get another one, and that made sense to me when I was like, right, this is what Dungeons and Dragons are. Right. You go off, you get tasks, you've got to go and complete them, and off you go. But as you kind of get into it, it's more than that. You need to. Mike always said, is when you're in a situation of what would you do, what happens, it's not what you would do, it's what your character would do.
Right.
So that's where your backstory is quite important. You need to know where they came from and what their sort of thought process would be. So, you know, I quite like doing all the battle stuff, and you kind of fight, but then you have sort of interactions with like the locals in the village.
I need to get a wee character, man.
Yeah.
I got a shillelagh made, and that's what got me into martial arts.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, so we've got a guy who does makes wood, and then and he made me my shillelagh. Really cool. I think I should get into it. When I introduced this though on TikTok, folk were like, I said, I'm going to have it next to my desk, and I've got a Viking shield.
Yeah,
and they're like,
I was not seeing the shield, yeah.
What are you doing? Are you going to be running about council? I said, no, man, just get into it. So that was a gift to one of our fans on TikTok. You can tell that it intrigues me, but I can't let myself go into that just yet. Like all my pals, a lot of them play it, and I just stand on the sidelines, like, you know, itching, because I know I want in it, but I don't. It would take me all my creativeness away, because like you just said there, my backstory, I'm a writer. I would be like, right, I want magic and I want this and that. So it's not much different.
I do that. I'm my characters in other campaigns. I am like that. I've got like pages of it.
Man.
And we did a one shot. So it's just like a 1 or 2 sessions, and that's it. And I had a character, but it was like 2 pages long, 2 or 3 pages A4.
And Stranger Things has boosted it, man. It sells through the roof. My pals he did have a wee shop when it sold all his stuff, and that he said, you know, when Stranger Things came out, it rocketed. He said we were selling all sorts, man, and that's great, man, because in a world where it can be horrible at sometimes, everybody needs their escape. And I've watched many a game and battle, and it's like I'm a watcher. I like sitting there and watching everybody get into it. So I
one of the things I really liked about it is because when I say people, you know, I'm mid-40s, and people are like, what are you up to tonight? I'm like, I've got my friends for Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm kind of like, oh geez, that's a bit of a nerd kind of thing, you know. There, you know, that's connotation I had from my school days. But what I say to people is like, yeah, okay, we're often doing it, but what I really enjoy about it is, you're using your brain, use the creative side, but I'm actually sitting there with a group of friends and socialising as well, and I'm really big on social sort of stuff. My friends are my world. They're my family, and so to actually sit down and spend that time with them.
Yeah, and get into it.
Yeah, it's great. It's really
like
good
you
fun.
said, in a world that, like, you get no judgment for us in here. I am just as every bit crazy and mental as what I used to think I was.
Yep.
But that's sad though, isn't it, that the world who decides? Because, you know, I'm always constantly telling people, even on the podcast and all the other bits, that's the only box you're going to get me in.
Yeah.
Is the logo, but they're constantly trying to fit you into these things and trying to make you conform, and you're like, how about you just let people live, man, and be whatever they want to be? What's the problem here, man?
Yeah, well,
in a world, innit? It's in a, what is it I say? In a world full of roses, be a wildflower.
Yep.
Isn't it?
That's a good one.
I've got a gift for you, you know, actually.
All right.
I'm just going to crack that one, you know. Hope that doesn't, we had a wee problem with the zooming in the other day. I think it's your size.
No, that's
a wee
cool.
custom t-shirt, man.
I love that.
Made it the other night.
That's awesome. I really like that.
You're welcome, man. A wee gift.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to make sure my wee... Yes. So I made a mistake the other day and it didn't zoom back in properly. You're welcome, man.
Lovely, thank you.
Take my coat hanger back after you. I'm running out of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I need some.
And that's like things. The reason why I'm saying that is because I am just as every bit of crazy, and I like my own wee world. But you know, in a world where was chastised back in the day for painting skulls or whatever, I like them. I like skulls.
Do you know, I really do, because I love like the Day of the Dead stuff.
Yes,
that's really cool.
That's where that's kind of similar.
Yeah, I like that. It's I got a tattoo recently, and I kind of wanted to get one of the other tattoo ideas. I would actually quite like a skull, and I know some people might think that's a bit morbid, but I actually
man.
Like it.
Listen, a guy came on the podcast, Jordan, and he just released a new song, and it was called "Bet the Devil He Knows." And I said, "That'd make a great tattoo," but "Bet the Devil She Knows." And I got my tattoos to design me a tattoo for the.
That's cool. I like that.
So it was there.
And is that?
So the world's not everything you think it is.
Yeah.
That's why that is. I don't know if the film is V for Vendetta, wasn't it? For the masks and stuff. But I just think everybody wears a mask to a certain extent. And then got my sobriety date. All you guys that support Chagar 82. I've got a nice Chinese woman on the back there.
Nice.
And it says one day at a time. Because that's all we've got, one day at a time.
Yeah.
And I'm right into my Greek stuff.
Great.
So I've got a Greek. I've got what'd you call her? Oh, the one that's got the. She's got an owl. That's terrible. Athena. Yeah. I have to think it in the Scottish, as in like I've seen her. Athena.
I say I do video games as well. I'm really bad for rewatching TV or rewatching films, and also replaying video games. And I'm actually replaying one called Phoenix Rising, and it's all Greek mythology. And I was like, I know exactly which one, because that's one of the gods in it. Yeah.
God of wisdom. So God of war. And wisdom.
That's right. Yeah.
So I like that. I've got a wee tattoo underneath it that's not quite away, so I get to see all the rubbish stuff I had before. It's an interesting life you've lived, man. Yeah. It's like, and again, like creatives who don't know they're creative fascinate me, because I don't want to say it's like when somebody says to me, you know, I think everybody's a wee bit autistic and ADHD. I'm like, I don't think they are, but you know, but there is a wee tiny bit of creative in everybody. We just need to unlock it. We just need to give people that the space to be able to do it. So I'm going to give you the option.
All right.
So you have an option. Do you want to make a phone call, or do you want to read out my book? A book or a phone call?
I'll get a book.
Cool. So it says you just randomly pick a page out of this.
All right.
They're no long, man. It's not. You're not reading a story.
I like that one. Random pick a page.
See what you get. What you got?
Happiness.
Turn it round. Let's see. Oh, it's got a wee whale or a dolphin.
Yeah, happiness. Happiness is a dolphin free, blowing from holes and slaying the sea. They smile and sing as they swim together in an oceanic party that goes on forever.
There you go, man.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that one.
That's off the sweary words in there, by the way.
Is there? Well, I mean, I imagine so from the title.
You got the nice one.
Yeah. I like happiness. Happiness is good. Man. I like being happy, and like everyone else being happy. So
a wee book of wonder, man. Somebody bought me that, and
that's cool.
I thought just great, because it can change somebody's day.
Yeah.
By just words, man. Words are my thing. Like, I say everything. I'm just a guy doing this. There's no malice in me. There's no harm. I just like when I see people and being able to go, you know what, you've got something, and it's either personality or like you've rhymed off and you've mentioned JCI. I never knew anything about that.
Yeah.
But people can learn a lot for stuff like that.
Yeah, JCI it was a big impact in my life. You know, one of the things I did, I don't know if have you ever done insights training?
No, I'm a loose cannon.
Yeah, so you're probably all over the place on that one.
I've went to 5 schools, but I did do the Prince's Trust.
Right. So, well, through this, I did insight training, and it was one of these. It was a leadership academy I did. Went to just outside Gothenburg.
Right.
That's the one thing with JCI is I got to travel to places I'd never been to before. As I say, Moldova. I went to a place called Lappeenranta in Finland, just outside Gothenburg. I went to Japan, Lyon, loads of places I'd never went to. But I went to this training, and one part of it is you do insights training on it, and there's 4 sort of colours. And it's on a like a cross. On one side is introvert, one side's extrovert, and then other ways. It's been about 10 years since I've done it, so it's pretty simple. There's things on the other side, and normally like you can't be like, you're generally not the opposite colours from each other. So it starts blue, red, green, yellow. Yellow is a very creative part. Green is very sort of people orientated. Blue is very organised, and red is it's like direct and taking charge. And so I'm very high yellow, but also very high green. And it's very rare for it to be that way. It's generally very yellow. Yeah. Red is quite more common.
I've done something similar to that when I worked for the bank, and when I was it was a sales thing.
For me, because that was when I was just before I became local president in Edinburgh, and it's a really good way of sort of understanding who you are, so you can get a team together with where you are not good. So like it's really yellow, but it means I'm really bad for like the detail. So I'm really good at coming up with ideas. So if we're doing like events, like great, we could do this, we could do that, but I'm not very good with like how do we do that.
So the structure.
Yeah. So my team was really good because I was able to get people who were very blue. So there's a one of my friends through it, Olivia. Her and I worked very well together because we're those opposites. And actually understanding that was really good.
That makes sense. Like we Jan down the stairs, like there's loads of stuff. Openly, I'm autistic, ADHD. Yeah. I'm dyslexic. You know, and we Jan fills in, and we're bipolar, totally different people. Yeah. But it works. Yeah. So the things work.
It's also so it's understanding about how creative you are, but also understanding what your weaknesses are, and that getting somebody
owning your weaknesses is something that builds like an armour.
Yeah, I can look at something and look at all the detail, and go, that's perfect, and I'll send it over to somebody like Olivia or my friend Katie, who's also who's also very blue. And the two of them will look at it and go, right, you've missed this and missed that, and that's not right, and this is not right.
We need a blue person in my life, man.
Everyone needs a blue person in their life.
We need a blue person in my life. I'm sitting thinking, we need a blue person. I'm a guy of colour, man, but blue, aye. Yeah. We don't have, that's weird, we don't have an awful lot of, I know you're sitting on a blue couch, but there's not an awful lot of blue in here. Maybe I know the shield, but there's not an awful lot of blue. The colour is, obviously orange is my favourite colour. Yeah. Maybe a sign to add some blue in here.
Maybe.
Episode 34 and in blue colour, and we've spoken about stuff that me and Jim were talking about in the end. Things are happening. The world has a plan.
The world has
a plan. Listen, thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you for inviting me.
It's an interesting guy, and it's like I'd hate to think people just think, oh, just a guy delivering a printer. The world is full of so much more people like yourself than it is with the ones that think they're high and mighty. Yeah. And they just need to come out their wee shells and go, listen, let's do this. So I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. That's what we do here at Imagination Station Network. I'm going to look up JCI. Where can the guys find you if you weren't haunted by the followers?
Blue Sky is probably the one I've got.
Blue Sky.
I have no idea what my handle is.
I think I've registered for that when I was ready to jump away from the one I told you earlier.
Blue Sky is probably the one I'm on the most.
Sky.
Or I am on Instagram as well, but mostly Instagram is just pictures of the animals.
Cool. Oh, aye, let's hold on before we go. No finished yet. don't shut the computer down yet, or what you're listening to. Stephen's got a wee baldy Sphinx cat.
I do, called Niles.
Don't tell Picasso, but that was what I always wanted.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Niles. When we got and we just finished watching, rewatching, as I say, I watched lots of things again. Frasier.
Oh, I love Frasier.
Yeah, and Niles is one of my favourite characters from it,
is.
so he's called Niles after that.
Excellent.
And he's a great wee thing. Just loves a cuddle. So
jealous.
Yeah. And then we've got Jinx the dog as well.
Jinx
the
Jinx?
diva. She is half Westie, half Bichon. 100% drama queen.
Brilliant.
Absolute drama. Total diva.
Everybody needs a wee furry daughter and sons that are drama queens.
Absolutely.
We were talking earlier, it's the Niles needs bath quite a bit.
He does.
And a day I looked up on how to look after these wee hairless members of the family, and but sorry Picasso, I know you don't watch this anyway. Your wee furry daughter. But listen, thanks very much for your time again, guys. Thanks for listening. We have a Christmas episode after this one, which we are going to film. But listen, I always say this. Please, if there's anything you do it today, take a wee bit of time for yourself. Self-care is important. We were discussing there about how I had a meltdown a couple of days ago, and that's how I'm able to come in and I'm bright, and I'm light, and I'm able to conduct the rest of my day. But please be kind to yourself. I'm not going to harp on it. It's always just a suggestion. It's never a demand. Because if somebody came to me and demanded that I look after myself, man, I'd be like, poof, get my shillelagh. Also, I got to let's do a bit of promotion. Oh. These are the new King and Queens hoodies that I paint. So these are on the website, dragart82.com, if you want one. That's it. Peace out. Have a great day.
Cheers.